Yo, YouTube, this is the 34th episode of the podcast. Today, we have a really, really special guest. We have RB from Philly Sports Takes. And we also have Henry. So we have a two-topic rundown. This is not going to be one of our 5-minute quick videos. Our second topic is going to be, our two topics is going to be the NBA Finals, after our thoughts after Game 1, and also is Ben Simmons trade talks. Hey, RB, what do you think about the finals so far?
What's going on, man? Appreciate you having me on. Thank you for being here. The NBA Finals is going to be a good matchup, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a dogfight. There's a lot of cool stories in terms of Chris Paul coming out here in his 16th season, trying to win his first ring. You also have players like Mikal Bridges, former Sixer. You have Devin Booker in his first playoff appearance. He's out here bowling out. DeAndre Ayton playing up to his potential. The Phoenix Suns are a good story, all coached by Monty Williams. On the other side, you have Giannis in his first finals. It's definitely been a weird year. I think, a lot of people have been injured. It's definitely, one that we won't see again for a while, but, we have to embrace it while it's here. I think the Suns are a very sound basketball team. I don't think they make a lot of errors. I think, they don't turn the ball over. They're very smart. They play together. At the same time, the Bucks, their success to me hinges on Giannis, and I think if he's healthy, they may be able to take one or two games. But overall, I think the Suns are going to win. I just think they're too good of a team, in my opinion.
All right, Henry, what is your opinions on the finals after RB's great take?
Like RB said, it's going to be a dogfight and it's going to go to the end, but I still have the Suns coming out just because if you look at the roster, I never really realized they were so in depth with having their three with Ayton, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker, while having Cam Johnson, Cameron Payne, Sarge. Actually, wait, Sarge got hurt yesterday, and they just and Mikal Bridges are they're going to be hard to stop. And I don't know if the Bucks have what it takes. Like, there's a bunch of storylines going on, but I just feel like it's fitting for the Suns to win this, just like because Chris Paul, this is his moment to step up. And it's just that he has the most experience out of everyone, so I feel like he can kind of control the series.
Yeah, I can say one thing here. Chris Paul is okay. The two players I want to win a ring before they leave the NBA is Russell Westbrook, because he's mainly my favorite player, and Chris Paul. And I think his dreams are going to be fulfilled here, or his hopes are being fulfilled here. He's never had a chance, mainly, and this is his main chance, or his best chance. I think obviously he's in the finals. But the Suns are so deep. I mean, the one team in the West were the Jazz, but they went on like what wasn't it, 17-game win streak? RB, can you confirm me on that? Like, earlier this year, they went on like a 17-game win streak.
Yeah, they were on a pretty good winning streak.
I remember it was like above 15, I think. If you have a 15-game win streak, you're obviously gonna be in the top seed in the West. So yeah, and Giannis, I mean, I love Giannis, but I feel like he's gonna have more chances, especially if he goes with a super team, which I'm against super teams because I just don't think it makes the league fair unless you draft them on like the Warriors of the drafted with Clay and Steph. It was purely 3 drafts and Draymond Green. And it's a lot off topic, but yeah, the NBA Finals is going to be in kind of this year. I have predictions going Suns in 6. Do you guys mind putting your predictions in real quickly?
Yeah, I would also attest to that belief. I'm probably going to say Suns in 5 or 6. I said 6 originally, and then I thought if Giannis is hurt, I got Suns in 5. But I mean, he'll be okay. His mobility was all right last night, but it's just not enough. He kind of died out in the second half, and like you said, the Suns are they just play way too quick, man. They're going to be way too much. I got Suns in 6.
Yeah, and with me, I have the Suns in 6 as well, just because I feel like the Bucks might get a game or two, or I mean, a game away maybe at Suns and a game at home, but I just feel like they don't have enough. Giannis is upcoming, and I have a feeling we'll see him back in the finals. I don't know if they have what it takes this year, especially since he's been injured, and he's just not the same when he like RB said, he died down in the second half. And you need a fully healthy Giannis if let's say Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday isn't popping off in the game. And I think Giannis, he'll be back even if they don't win this year. But I just feel like the Suns have way too many weapons for the Bucks to keep up with.
Yep. Yeah, so that was our input on the finals. All right, our next topic. This is Drew and dear to the Sixers fans. Ben Simmons trade talk. RB, I know you're strong on this. What do you think is going to happen with Ben Simmons?
I would say that there's little to no chance of Ben Simmons returning. As a guy who's defended Ben Simmons, who loves Ben Simmons and has since he's been drafted, I hit my breaking point watching him go out the way that he did in the playoffs. It was just miserable. A lot of fans want to deny it, but at the end of the day, Ben Simmons has to go, and there's a couple reasons why. Number one, the timetable on Joel Embiid continues to shorten. And I think, it's now or never. Daryl Morey, the right guy in place, has to go out and get us an elite guard. The Sixers have played without a point guard. And I mean, you can count off the years on two hands. We need an elite point guard to come in here, control the floor, run the pick and roll. Ben Simmons can't, he just can't do that. And he refuses to shoot. He refuses to try to get better. And it's just, it hit that point where he has to go. And in addition to that, I just think, Ben Simmons' contract is taking up too much of our flexibility. And I think we can use the money smarter and go out and get some more players. So at the end of the day, and then the last thing is, just the pride factor. Like I said, Ben Simmons just kind of went out there in that playoffs and he just stunk up the joint, man. So, the Sixers have to come out. The fans won't be very welcoming to bring him back. I think Ben Simmons gets traded sometime this offseason.
Yeah. I have one question for you, RB. Is he refusing to shoot, or the trainers are just refusing to help him?
In my personal opinion, what I've held true to me is that he has a jump shot. I've seen it in games that don't matter. I've seen it in moments that don't matter. The form has gotten better over the last 3 to 4 years. And, even his free throw form has gotten better. I just, there's something going on with his mental. He just cannot really, contribute in the biggest moments. And, in terms of the jump shot, he refuses to do it. We play 4-on-5 almost every single possession. And it's gotten to the point where, in year 5 now, it's just unacceptable. We need a point guard, and Ben just will refuse to shoot because everything else he does great will still keep him as a valuable player. But I don't think he wants to be great. I don't think he wants to be one of the best players in the game. He's satisfied for being a role player, and that's just how I see it.
All right, Henry, what is your input on that? On the same topic.
Ben Simmons, we saw in the playoffs, he's not a superstar. He's good. Except he's not a star. He's not that second star or edge that we need to win a championship. You see, like each finals team in the past few years, you need to have an elite guard. Ben Simmons is an elite guard, but he can't do anything on offense. He can pass, he can play defense, and rebound. That's about it. In today's NBA, you can't always rely on a big man to take over, because in the end of the game, Embiid's tired or he's in foul trouble. And we saw versus the Hawks, Trae Young, an elite guard able to take over games, especially as we in the past finals, Chris Paul able to take over games in the end. And I don't think Ben's trying to get better. If he was, then maybe he would be shooting. And like RB said, I think he doesn't care if he's a superstar. He's satisfied as a role player, and he's taking up way too much money. So I won't be surprised if he's traded. And I right now I don't see him as a star. He brings good D, but right now he's just looking like a role player, and that's not what we need.
100%. One thing, even if you have like a solid point guard, let me think of one average point guard that could be like traded away easily. Derrick Rose, for convenience. People will need to guard Derrick Rose, unlike Ben Simmons, and now that'll help obviously Joel Embiid in the down low, because then you have two people down low on him. Because besides Ben Simmons, they have shooters on their team, but now people are just double teaming in the paint, and that's obviously just not makes it almost impossible for Embiid to score. And also, It's not even in the playoffs. It's just in the regular season. It's both practically, because he's scared to shoot regardless. Like I think he just needs to like obviously put the work in. Like I'm trying to think of the player's name. Darko Milicic. He was the second draft pick in the same. He was the second overall pick. He refuses to put. He was lazy, and laziness is going to get you out of the NBA. I like Ben Simmons, like, and can't he just like be more aggressive and just run to the basket like Obi Toppin? I know this is a completely different scenario. Even though he can't shoot just in general, he at the end of the year he's been more aggressive and now leading him to the paint more and obviously getting more baskets for the Knicks and more W's. But let me just think of anything else I can think of. Like also RB, I have one question on Ben Simmons. What possible teams do you think would want him? Because like he's like a headache, game wise.
Yeah, well, to the first thing you said, I do think that Ben can be that type of player, where he cuts to the basket. He's an off the ball type of, roller on the screens. He can be that type of player. The problem is we're paying him to be a max star on this team. We're paying him to do much more. So I don't think he can be that with us. And in terms of interest from other teams, I think that, to be quite honest, that's the hardest part of this whole thing. We don't know what Ben Simmons' value is right now. All we have to go off is pretty much one trade offer so far and what other teams are saying. And we'll obviously hear more as we go. But I honestly think some teams are going to be very interested in Ben, a 24-year-old, three-time All-Star who can do a lot of things great. They just got to improve one thing. So I think some teams, for example, the Pacers are already interested. The Timberwolves, maybe the Trailblazers, teams like that would be interested in Ben Simmons. Then, there's other teams who are not going to put up with his kind of, antics, as you alluded to. So I think some of those teams are going to come out of the water. But at the end of the day, it's about finding the right trade partner. The Sixers need to get an elite player, man. They do. And I really do think they're going to end up finding a win-win trade somewhere for a team that may be able to use a forward to help push the pace, and just make, an overall better basketball team. So I do see a deal getting done sometime this offseason.
Yeah. Also, I remember you, but when you said Max, I remember we want to say, yeah, they have so much money in him. Like they can just, I don't know what you can do with him money wise, but you can trade him away and get someone else who has a high money value, or just maybe trade him away for future draft picks. I don't know how that's actually. I don't know actually how that works. But also, let me think what else to say. Yeah, that's actually never mind. No, yeah, they have so much money. I mean, that can support your team, and you just need to get a shooter that who's a good point guard. It's like it could be an average point guard. Like, and for all sake, you can get CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum. I don't know, but yeah, that wraps up this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and we just recorded a legendary episode with RB, and this was gonna go down one of the best episodes in LG Sports Mass history. I know it's not that high, but thank you guys for watching.